So, after a slight delay, we've now got the senior max contingent out for their second chance heat, and the grid is as follows. Pole position will go to the 383 of Vincent van Kerkhoven with Nick van der Mosselaar alongside on the front row in the 318. Then it's the 373 of Emily de Hoijs and Rick Boothorn in the 393 on row 2. Brian Mosavada, 376, and 372 of Antoine Antier round out the top 3 rows. Ahead of Danny Kroes in the 338, Kian Sang in the 302, Marcus Radney in the 368, with Greece's Georgios Bersis rounding out the top 10. Ahead of Clementine Benoit in the 387, Victor Paulsen in the 311, Hayden Cater in the 344, alongside fellow Brits Samuel Harrison in the 384, Luca Den Hartog in the 360, ahead of Brent Verheyen 323. Anthony Overbeek 321 and Pieter Jan Bollen 324. The timer has been set once again to 6 minutes plus an additional lap here at the home of champions karting Genk. Thank you very much for everyone listening either on Downforce Radio, the nation's motorsport stations, Spreaker Network, or those watching on YouTube currently, thanks to our good friends at Camp Company GmbH, who will be helping with the live stream, assisting, I'm pleased to announce, at Marienburg at Karting des Fans when we head there a little bit further south in Belgium, but still in the eastern part, and we'll be south of Liège. July 6th and 7th, just 1 week before the second round of the Rotax Max Euro Trophy that takes place at Christiansand, so I know that I got a few air miles to claim this year. So, drivers now on the formation lap, ahead of 6 minutes plus 1 additional lap of racing here at the home of champions. So again, the top 10, it is Van Kerkhoven, Nick van der Mosselaar, we've got De Hoijs, Boothorn, Ossewaarde, Antier, Kroes, Sang, Radney and Bersis. That is the top 10. They now are quickly into formation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what this second chance qualifying heat brings as they go towards the tram lines. Will we get a clean start on this particular occasion? A little bit of barging from behind. No, full start called. The minute barging happens... Oh, that's not happening at all. 324. Pieter Jan Bollen was actually latched underneath the back bumper of somebody else on the start. So already... That's going to now have a full restart. So another formation lap underway. So the full 18 drivers are as follows. Pole, it's Van Kerkhoven alongside Van der Mosselaar. De Hoijs and Boothorn row 2. Ossewaarde, Antier on row 3. Kroes and Sang row 4. Radney and Bersis row 5. Benoit and Paulsen row 6. Cater and Harrison row 7. Hartog and Verheyen row 8. And row 9, it's Overbeek and Bollen. So we now try, so that is the second full start of the day. So the drivers will line up in 2x2 formation, being told to slow down. Right, take 2. The field now streams into the tram lines. Red light on the gantry, 6 minutes will start right now. And we go lights out on the second time of asking. Everyone trying to get through safely through turn 1 and 2. And it's 3 abreast. This is getting very close indeed. Top 8 will qualify for the top 36 finale. And that will be the last race of the day. So at the moment, we'll just see how things progress over the next 5 minutes or so. Around about 5.5 minutes plus an additional lap. And we have 7 karts trying to break away already. We'll make that 9. And the driver leading the way is the number as they come through turn 11 right now. Vincent van Kerkhoven leads ahead of Nick van der Mosselaar. Emily de Hoijs has just been overtaken going into turn 12, but she's still safe at the minute in P5. Meanwhile, behind, there's quite a few scrabbling for places, including the likes of... well, there's been a few changes. So Rick Boothorn and Kian Sang go up into 3rd and 4th, respectively. Hayden Cater's just outside of the top 8. He's in 12th at the minute, behind Marcus Radney, who started in ninth position. So at the moment, the drivers still in the top 8 spots are Van Kerkhoffen, Van der Mosselaar, Buthorn, Sang, De Hoys, Antier, Harrison, and Beresis. But it's quite close behind because when you think about it, Poulsen, Kroos, and Radney are in close proximity, as is Hayden Cater, who's down in 12th position. So the scrabble is going to start now, and 3:11. Victor Poulsen has tried to go up the inside of Georgios Beresis. And has the move happened? I think maybe not. I'm not too sure. Let's just see how the order relates as Hayden Cater bumps over the curbs. And someone's furiously jumping up and down in the seat, whether they've lost a bit of power. Hayden Cater goes up the inside of someone else who's been forced wide. Gets bumped to the right-hand side going into turn 3. It's all elbows out in this second chance finale because no one wants to give up a coveted spot to the finale this afternoon, and Hayden Cater makes up 2 places going into turn 6, but then loses out 4 places in the process coming out of turn 6. So whether something's happened, there may have been a little bit of contact. It might have just unsettled things there. So leading at the moment, it is now Nick van der Mosselaar, Rick Buthorn in second. Van Kerkhoffen, I think, might be down in 4th place. So who's in second? That looks to be Kian Sang now, who's got up into 3rd place. Emily de Hoys in 5th as, Rick Buthorn retakes the lead back off of Nick van der Mosselaar quite convincingly there into turn number 3. So we've already had 2 eliminees, maybe make that 3 because Clementine Benoit and Bram Mosevarda are out and won't take any further participation this weekend. Luca Den Hartog may have just parked it or pulled to the side of the track. As Kian Sang now up into 2nd position ahead of Nick van der Mosselaar as Rick Buthorn continues to lead in this second chance heat. 2 minutes and 20 to go. I have noticed there's a little bit of side pod damage to the left-hand side of Hayden Cater's kart, unfortunately. He's still circulating in around about 12th position behind Pieter Jan Bollen. And as I say that, Kian Sang has now got past Rick Buthorn for the lead of the race. And the 387 there of Clementine Benoit's kart is on the grass, on the inside apex of turn number 6. Leaders coming through now into turn number 8. So Kian Sang clearly got the bit between his teeth and started from 8th and now leads. So would have been the person at the sort of the cut-off point, if you will. But now has stormed to the front quite convincingly, has managed to capitalise when others have faltered. Rick Buthorn in 2nd, Nick van der Mosselaar in 3rd, and is coming under pressure from Emily de Hoys from the Netherlands. The 373 is now pushing. And the fastest lap of this race has gone to Sam Harrison in 5th, who's trying to close up to Emily de Hoys, who's currently sitting in 4th position, and is right behind Nick van der Mosselaar. I can't really mistake who that is because he's got Nick on the top part of the back on his race overalls. So Emily de Hoys coming close to Nick van der Mosselaar coming into turn number 7. Kian Sang still leads from Rick Buthorn. Nick van der Mosselaar in 3rd place. Emily de Hoys in 4th. Sam Harrison in 5th. Georgios Beresis from Greece in 6th position. Vincent van Kerkhoffen, who started on pole, is now in 7th. And Antoine Antier, who started 6th, now in 8th place. So Antier is the one close to the cut-off point. So 25 seconds to go on the clock, plus 1 additional lap here in this Senior Max second chance qualifying heat. So Sang still leads. We're going to hit the expiry of 6 minutes as they power down from turn 6 to 7. So this is the penultimate lap. Time has now expired. So Kian Sang from the UK continues to lead ahead of the trio of Dutch drivers behind. which is Rick Boothorn, Nick van der Mosselaar, and Emily de Hoys. Sam Harrison in 5th makes it 2 Brits in the top 5. Georgios Bersis, the sole representative in Senior Max for Greece, is in 6th place, with Vincent van Kerkhoven and Antoine Entier rounding out the top 8. No, Entier has lost out to Victor Paulsen as I say that. So Antoine Entier is no longer going to be a factor into this race. Hayden Cater has made his way up to the top 10. He's now in 10th position. Is the number 344, but won't be able to close up to either Antoine Entier and Victor Paulsen, despite being in the prime window of opportunity to get one of those last 8 positions as they come through. The leaders through turn 9. Down the straight they go into turn 10 for the final time, being led by the UK's Kian Sang in the 302. Checkered flag being prepared right now. And coming out of the final corner from the United Kingdom, it's the 302 of Kian Sang who qualifies, as does Rick Boothorn, Nick van der Mosselaar, Emily de Hoys, Samuel Harrison, Georgios Bersis, Vincent van Kerkhoven, and last but by no means least, from Denmark, it's the 311 of Victor Paulsen. Now, all results as I call them, or as I see them on the timing screens, will be subject to official clarification. So, Kian Sang is the first of 8 qualifiers, followed by Rick Boothorn, Nick van der Mosselaar, Emily de Hoys, Samuel Harrison, Georgios Bersis, Vincent van Kerkhoven, and Victor Paulsen rounding out the top 8. Behind them, Antoine Entier unfortunately lost out in the dying couple of laps to finish 9th. Hayden Cater surged back from an incident that saw him compromised, losing 4 positions on the back straight to finish in 10th. Ahead of Pieter Jan Bolen, Marcus Radney started a little bit further up the order in 9th, but would finish in 12th, ahead of Anthony Overbeek, and Brent Verheyen being the last of the classified finishers. We had 4 retirees in the form of Danny Kroes, Luca Den Hartog, with Bramo Sivarda and Clementine Benoit not even making it past the very first lap.